We're busy with the series, Keys for Building Healthy Relationships. There's one key that is so important that I actually need to ask your permission before I start. The key is intimacy. So may I ask permission to speak openly, to speak adult, and ask you that for you to understand this is not for your young children. So this is for you in your relationship. But because it's such an important key for us to have healthy relationships, I decided to actually bring it into the curriculum. So right now, if you have kids there, this is not your time to watch this session. Please ask them either to leave or plan to watch this on another time. Here we go. This key is vital. Intimacy. When it comes to intimacy, it's like an onion. Look at an onion in the kitchen. It literally has layer upon layer upon layer. And I can tell you that the onion brings beautiful taste to food. But there are conditions in terms of how to handle an onion. If you just cut the onion, it can water your eyes. And the same with intimacy. If you approach it incorrectly, well, the water in your eyes might be tears of frustration that your love life is not working the way it should be working. You want to learn that you can take this very same onion and deal with it underwater. If you cut an onion underwater, number one, the water gives you the lubricant that is necessary to cut easier through the onion to get to the layers. And it doesn't burn your eyes. So as we go layer upon layer through the layers, you want to get to the nucleus of the onion. When I grew up as a child, there was a sweet that had multiple layers. It came in colors of black and pink and yellow. And we couldn't wait to suck that candy layer upon layer till eventually we saw what was right in the nucleus. And I give that illustration for you to understand that sometimes it's worth it to have the patience not to chew through the candy, not to chew and bite it, but to just keep on rolling in your mouth, let your mouth do what it's supposed to do, and eventually get to the nucleus of that candy to know, oh, it was a red nucleus. Talking about a red nucleus, you see, that is what intimacy is all about. Into me see. Because it actually comes from blood that flows in the artery. Because your artery is what propels the blood to go to the different parts of the body. Now, as you guys know, that every part of the body is as important. The heart is not more important than the lungs. And so every part of the body has its function. But the artery, the part where the blood runs through, the part that touches the artery, that's called the intima. That's where the word intimacy comes from. The closest part where the blood touches. So that gives us an indication of when we're talking about intimacy, of how sensitive and how beautiful it's supposed to be. When it comes to men and women, unfortunately, we don't always understand and celebrate the differences that we have. Well, we understand how the kitchen works. So I'm going to talk about something from the kitchen. Let's talk about the stove. Now you get two kinds of stoves. You get one with a spiral plate and one with a solid plate. I'd like to advocate the following. I think that men are very much like that spiral plate. You switch it on and it gets hot very easily. But the woman is more like the solid plate. You put it on and you're not sure the thing is on. Like you have to feel, is it on? Is it on? Ooh, okay, there's heat. And here's the truth. Once it's there, it remains hot for a long time. So there's something in terms of understanding what happens between a male and a female when it comes to intimacy. It's practical. We need to understand how our bodies function. As for men, there's the 72-hour drive. There's something that happens in the man's cycle that every 72 hours, there's this urge in him that he just cannot explain, and he starts foot tapping because he's impatient as a man. That's the way it works. God made it easy for women, that is that they've got a 30-day cycle, so at least once a month, for a period, they can rest their body. Because God knows He created both men and women exactly the way He wanted them. So when it comes to the matters of intimacy, we'd like it to be special and to be beautiful. And I just want to remind you that how you approach it is everything. For men, hygiene. For goodness sake, if you've been out playing golf and you're sweaty and you're dirty and what have you, that's not the way to approach your lady. You go shower, you make sure that your nails are clean, you make sure that you are clean, brush your teeth, present yourself beautiful to her. And if you know that you're going to receive your husband, now there's nothing like a little bit of perfume. Something that you dress, he can see but he can't see. That's what a man loves, because remember, this is the difference between a man and a woman. A man works with his eye gate. What he sees stimulates him. What a woman hears stimulates her. So she wants to hear early in the day with a little WhatsApp, babe, you're beautiful. She's going to go, oh, what does he want? But it's okay. Even if she knows that, keep on communicating, because she needs to hear that she's fantastic. And when you see her, tell her not what she looks like, but what you see on her inside. I can tell you what is far more sexy for a woman to hear. That when you look at her inside and say, your heart is the most beautiful thing ever. You're such a great mother. You're such a beautiful partner to me. You're so understanding. So when you speak about her inside, it means so much more. Of course they want to hear, you look great in that dress. But if every time you open your mouth and you only compliment the exterior, you're missing out on the intima, the part that touches, the part that connects with you. So you want to understand that this is a beautiful game. This is since the start of the centuries that God created man and woman, He created them. And He said it's not good for a man to be alone. And therefore He made a woman to complete the man. But remember, when He made her from bone here under His arm, His rib. Not from bone from His head so He can intellectually be on top of her. Not from bone from His feet so He can step on her so she felt trodden. But from here, a bone from under His arm, from His rib. God knew, close to the heart, because that's how it belongs. When it comes to intimacy, man and woman, close to the heart. So guys, I really want to encourage you. Embrace the issue of intimacy. Understand it's a gift. It's a gift that you can use. And guys, make sure that when you serve one another, do so just with a beautiful attitude. You've heard of the dead duck routine? Thank you, ma'am. He does not need that. Guys, you also heard about how you can be totally disengaged and you don't connect with your wife. It's not just an act. It's intima. It's beauty. So, my prayer for you two is, may your intimacy be one of the keys for building a healthy relationship.